Hey, it's Alan from VExpressions again, and while I was doing my TD30 Quick Start Setup video guide, I remembered that there's a great tool out there for pretty much all Roland owners with the exception of the 50. They have not updated for the 50 yet. It's a great tool for you to get all your ducks in a row a lot quicker on the computer than trying to do it on the module itself. That's what we're going to go over today, so let's go ahead and get started. So the program I'm talking about is VDrumLib. It's a great application that will save you a ton of time doing a lot of things on the computer that you would take normally 15, 30, 45 minutes in the module to try to put everything together you're trying to do. I'm going to go ahead and open that now and we'll take a look at it. Okay, so first things first, I have VDL open, and I'm going to pretend I have a TD30. We're kind of going to go in a circle here. We're going to work backwards. I'm going to give you an example on the 30 of how to basically create your own backup, move your pad settings from one pack to another, and then we're going to go backwards to the TD20X and bring in older TD20 files, and then how to get all that up to date with the 30, and then have to work a little bit with the module. So let's go ahead and get started. The 30, I have 3 example files here on the right. We're going to pretend the first one on the top here is my personal backup. The second one is going to be the first expansion I've purchased from VExpressions. By the way, if you don't know who VExpressions is, that's us, go to VExpressionsLTD.com. Check out what we have for your module. We have a ton of stuff for Roland. We have some for Yamaha, and now we have some from Perlman Pro. Back to the example. So the second expansion here on the right is going to be the one that I pretend bought from VExpressions, and then the second one will be a second expansion I bought from VExpressions. Or in your case, you may have simply 3 backups. So the first one is our personal backup. We have our drop down correctly chosen to TD30, which we own. We will drag that into the left side, and you'll see it comes up with a setup info and then a bunch of kits, however many kits you have, up to 100. I'm going to highlight the first one. The first one is our setup info, which carries our pad tweaks, our pad setup, all that type of information. It basically carries everything except the kits themselves. A lot of the time when you're starting to build custom backups and everything, when you're adding expansions from us, you're going to want to move your own personal pad tweaks, pad setup to our kits. This is how you do it. So first I'm going to select this. I'm going to add the selected item over to the right side. I now have my pad setup and pad tweaks ready to go with whatever else I add to it. We're going to pretend the second TDO file over here is an expansion. Don't know what it is, but we'll pretend it's the first of 2. We'll drag it to the left side. You'll see all the kits change. You'll see another setup file. Now, the setup file that comes in our expansions is just Roland defaults. Most likely, you won't want to use them, or if you've never changed your pads, it may be fine. You may want to go ahead and use our setup and just tweak from there if you've never done your own. If you have your own personal, then you're going to be doing this example here. So we're going to skip this setup, and we're going to pick a random 20 kits here. I just selected the first one, held shift, selected the last one, add the selected items to the right, and there they go. Now I've got 20 kits plus my personal pad setup on the right. Lastly, we're going to go to another backup, which is another expansion from VExpressions. You'll see once again all the kits change, and I have the setup file once again. Once again, that setup file is the default from Roland. There are a couple expansions where I provide my personal pad setup that some people find helpful. You'll see that in the manuals if it's available. For this example, that's not very important, but I did want to just mention that. So we'll pick another random 20 kits here. Again, click the first one, hold shift, click the last one, and add the selected items to the right. So 20 and 20 equals 40. I have 40 kits. And I have my personal back setup, the pad tweaks and pad setup on the right. You don't have to worry about adding all the extra user kits. VDL will do that for you automatically when you save it. And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to go ahead and hit save. We're going to save it on the desktop, and we'll just call this Alan's 30 kits. Now, the reason I did give that a real world name, we'll go ahead and close that for a moment. The reason I gave this a real-world name is because the name you give it right there will show up in your module as you're scrolling. However, the file will not show up in your module unless it's named properly. So we're going to go over here and just copy real quick one of these names from proper backup, and we're going to rename our backup same manner. I'll paste that, but I'm going to change the number 21 to 99. And again, keep in mind that the name has to be correct or the module will not understand it. And it'll basically just tell you there's nothing there. So it is set, it is properly named now, TD30 underscore backup with a capital and 009. You can make that number anything you want. I personally prefer lower numbers, 1 through whatever, so that I don't have to scroll a lot. I just use 99 for this example. If I accidentally took that 0 out right there, the module would not recognize that file. So once that's done, all you got to do is copy that file to your backup folder. That's the folder that is inside. I'll go through the tree. You have your USB stick. You'll see a rolling folder. You'll see a TD30 folder. Then you'll see a backup folder. This file has to go inside the backup folder for the module to see it. Whatever number you give it at the end there is what you have to scroll to see that file. And then you can load it. Okay, so we're done with that one. We'll go ahead and delete that example. We don't need that. We're going to reopen VDrumLib. And this time we're going to pretend like we have a 20X and that we want to bring in older kits. So I will change my drop down to the module that I own, which is a 20X. We will bring in our 20X file here on the right, which is going to pretend to be my personal backup. Again, we will copy the personal setup information, which is our pad tweaks, pad settings, so forth, and add that to the right. Now we're going to pretend that we want to bring in some kits from the old 20 file. This is perfect for somebody who has a 20X or even a 30 that's going to want to get something like top 50 drummers, gigging kits, or whatever from the 20 to their module. This is how you're going to do it. So I'm going to drag this 20 file over here into the left side, and VDL will pop up this little conversion question. Do you wish to convert the TD20 kits to the 20X? Yes, I do. And I will hit convert, and it will ask me just to verify that my layout, not the actual pads setup and the pad tweaks themselves, but the layout is the way I want it. And most 99% of the time, you're just going to select convert in this. So you'll convert that. As you can see here, it only brings in the kits from the 20. So I have no setup data to worry about. I already copied my setup data from my 20X file, and I would just copy these kits, all of them in this case, to the right side. Now I've just converted this old 20 data to the, which you can see here, it is the Professor pack, which I named Day Professor, apparently. And you'll see that I now have my 20X set up on the right with all the 20 kits on the right, and I will save that out. And I will just call that temp for now. Hit enter. You'll see it pop up here on the left. I'll go ahead and close this and not save it. And then the same thing with the renaming. Now, this was for a TD20X. You cannot rename this to the 30, and I'll get into that in a moment. So I would go over here to my 20X file, take that name, copy it, replace this one, and give it a different number, which will do the same 99. Enter. Now with the 20X file, if you have a 20X, same rules apply. It goes in the backup folder. However, now that I have this 20X file and I want to take it to the 30, you're going to put it in a different folder. Now, why would I want to do that? Why wouldn't I want to just create this for the 30? I'll show you real quick. VDL will not, because of the conversion process, you cannot take a TD30. Let's say I own a TD30, but I want to bring in those old 20 kit. All right, we'll do it from scratch. So here's my personal. I'll put my setup to the right. Now I want to bring in some old kits from the 20 or 20X. Doesn't matter which one I'm going to show you because it's going to do the same thing. Bring that in and bang. You can't do it in VDL. That's okay though, because you can do it in the module. So the example I just went through is what you have to do to prep for the 30. So I have a TD20X. I have the setup actually from the 20X, which I'm not going to use with the 30. That's the key here. And I would drag this into the import file folder on the USB stick. So because we want to go from the 20X, again, 20X. If you own a 20X, it goes in the backup folder. If you own a 30, you're going to want to import the kits from this. So what I would do is I would put this in my import folder instead. I would go and import that. Go ahead and delete this real quick. Now, when you're in the module and you've imported it, make a new backup. Don't worry about the pad settings because you've already got a personal 30 backup, right? So I would open up VDL one last time. This is our final example. So I have my personal backup from the 30 that we started with a long time ago. Bring that in. Drop my pad setup data to the right. And I just deleted the file from the 20X, but we're going to pretend now that this 30 file over here is the one that we imported and re-saved as a 30 version. I would bring that in, and I know these kits don't match up, but we're going to pretend they do. I'll just grab all of them, add them to the right, and now I have the old 20X file, or kits, I should say, with the new 30 setup data. And again, now that you've got all this in place, just hit save. Give it a name. We'll do temp again. I know I used a bunch of capitals there that were unnecessary. And now that it's a 30 file, I can now copy this name, all of it, copy, or paste it here, and once again, change the number at the end. It really boils down to the important part being getting the name right, using the proper file in the proper folder, and then locating it on the module properly. That's really all it boils down to. It's that simple. But this is a great little program. Once again, I'll put the link in the description. I highly recommend it to anybody with a 30, 20X, any rolling module for that matter. I think he supports pretty much all. Actually, I'll show you real quick what he supports. Drop down shows us a 30, 20X, 20, 12, 15, 11, 10X, 10, 9, 9V2, 8, 6, and 3. So the only thing I'm not seeing on there is the 25 and the 50, I think, at this point. The TD1, obviously. But anyway, I know he is working on an update for the 50, but it's going to take a while because there was a vast change in all the background data. So I think that is coming in the future. I don't want to speak for him, but I believe it's coming. I know he sent me something to test for him, and I haven't gotten to it. I will do that soon. But this is an invaluable application to have. I highly suggest it. So I hope that helped. I hope there's something in this video that was great for you enough to give it a thumbs up. While you're down there, please click subscribe. Click the little bell to get notifications. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I'll do my best to answer them. Come visit us at theexpressionsltd.com. We've got lots of expansions over there, like I mentioned, for multiple brands now and a ton for roll-in owners. And then also come talk with us on VDrums.com. There's lots of people over there with a vast knowledge. We've all known each other over there for 10, 15, 20 years. And we've all basically grown together through all these modules. Anybody over there can answer. A lot of people over there can answer your questions and get you rolling if you have a problem. So hope the video helped. See you next time.